I am going to try to reverse engineer these two beers. Reverse engineering beers and understanding what components make them up is critical to becoming a better brewer and making beers that you can be proud of. These two beers, I don't know what they are. I'm going to try each of them, give my impressions of them, and then try to figure out not only what ingredients they contain, but how they were made. Process is more important than the actual recipe. Understanding what that recipe is step number one. Haze level is different, but I think that the color is pretty similar here. Give them a try. That's nice, classic, very American, classic pale ale style beer. Punchy citrus, piney hops, a little bit of caramel on the backbone. Finishes nice bitterness, good water profile, nice and dry, decent beer. Beer number two. Wow, those are fairly similar beers. Is it like the same beer at different levels of freshness? Are you sure?
Two different beers.
I think ingredient-wise, they're pretty similar. This one has a slightly smoother, softer, more rounded texture. And right now it's landing on my palate a little bit smoother than this guy. But all things said, I'm going to try to reverse engineer one at a time. Obviously, each beer here contains a two-row style of base malt. I think this one may contain a base malt that's a little bit on the sweeter side, something like Maris Otter or a slightly darker kiln two-row base malt. This guy probably has a similar American-style two-row base malt. I think both of these beers are very likely to have a grain called Carahel or Crystal 60 or some 60 to 80 to 120 Lava Bond caramel malt within this particular construct. Very, very, very similar. This one may be slightly sweeter, and this one is slightly more smooth. Perhaps there's a little bit of dextrin malt in each of these guys. I want to see if I can pick up any hop profile differences as I decide what's going on here. There's a 1,000% chance that there's Cascade in both of these beers. I almost have no doubt about it. I think that there's subtle differences. This guy, to me, tastes, I guess, less complex to the guy on the left. I'm assuming the guy on the left might have some Centennial, maybe some Amarillo. This guy, I believe, is a Cascade single hop, but it's really difficult to say. In terms of mash temperature, these pale ales both finish pretty dry. I would presume that they were mashed somewhere between 148 and 152 if I had to try to recreate them. In terms of the yeast that I'm assuming are used in each of these beers, it's definitely a clean American style yeast. There is very clean fermentation character in both of these guys. No phenolics, no off-putting fruit forward characteristics, uber clean fermentation profile to be sure. So in terms of what they are, I'm not sure. I know that we're definitely drinking some classic American pale ale. If I had to guess, one of these is Sierra. The other one, I'm completely clueless. I thought hard about it. Who has like a sticky American pale ale similar to Sierra? And I kind of, in this moment, I'm drawing a blank.
So you were right about Sierra Nevada's the one on your right.
Okay.
And the one on your left is Dale's Pale Ale.
Dale's. Wow. What is Dale's hopped with? I don't know. It's been a very long time since I've had a Dale's. The one thing is for sure, we definitely have classic American pale ale here. Definitely have a good two-row base malt. Definitely have some sort of like Carahel, Crystal 60, caramel malt going on here. Definitely Cascade American hops. Again, maybe some Centennial, some Amarillo. I'm not sure. Classic American pale ale, crushable, beautiful orange in color, and all things considered, decently easy to reverse engineer. So guys, if you're at home and you're interested in the art of brewing, We don't want to make beer drinking unfun, and you don't want to sit around the table too much trying to reverse everything that you drink, or else you're not going to have the best time. It's going to make something that should be enjoyable turn into a chore. But if you're trying to hone in your craft and you find a beer that you love, spend the time trying to imagine the intent of those brewers, the way they mashed, their water profile, their raw ingredients, the hops that were utilized, and play this game on your own and see if you can figure it out. I promise you, you'll make progress as a drinker and as a brewer because of it. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy this content, please leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.